Welcome to the forecast. To my right and the returning, we have Alex Mastrello. Alex, how you doing?
Hello, everyone.
He's back. He's back. Congratulations to Alex. You had a kid over the week. Not over the week, but I mean on a day of the week last week. So congratulations to Alex.
Thank you.
To my left, we have Garrett Walls. Did nothing enough last week except talk to me on record. We're going to talk about.
This is also correct.
Was that the peak of your life last week? Talking to me? I mean, it wasn't the peak of my life, but I'm saying you, obviously.
I'm just weighing out everything in my life right now.
Well, I know what you have in your life. And it is the peak.
Sure, Marvin.
I'm going to say it's the peak.
You're not near any bridges, right?
No, but I will be after we talk
just making sure.
I will. Sure. I might be after we talk about the next book here. Starting first, we're going to talk about books coming out on March 28th, 2018. This is Wednesday Comics Forecast. We let you know what's out there. Hey, the weatherman's back. Last week I tried to do a good job. Guess what? I told you it was going to be sunny. Guess what? It snowed. First we have, so Previous World did an update. Now they put some more. Boom Studio finally got their own thing, which is, I think, was a long thing coming. Plus, and Dynamite also. More Boom. I think Boom's been doing way more stuff. And not to throw shade at all, but I think Boom is doing better than Dark Horse right now in terms of content. So we'll see here. We have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 25. This is Kyle Higgins, Ryan Ferreira, Daniela Di Naculio Bakken. This is is this the first issue of Shattered at Grid?
Yes, it is the first part.
Here. So I see we have the Jason's helmet, the Red Ranger, on the front here, and we have in the background. Who's this? Is this Tommy, or is this somebody else new?
It's alternate. Yeah, it's alternate Earth Tommy, basically.
All right. So how's this event going to play out? It's going to be crossing over two different books. Explain it to me.
So basically, Drakon, Lord Drakon, is going to come, who is alternate Tommy. Basically, he's coming back in time, and he's going to screw with time, and that's why the grid's going to be shattered. And there's going to be all kinds of different iterations of Power Rangers. So that was the premise that was presented in the trailer that got released with Jason David Frank.
They released a trailer, and you two are excited for. You've liked the Power Ranger books, Alex. You've been getting Go-Go Power Rangers, and Garrett, you've been getting both of them.
Which tell me, there's never been a cinematic trailer for a comic book. There has, but it's more like previews. I've never seen something like that before. I was sick.
I think there was something like that for Kyle, which makes sense because this is also Kyle Higgins. I think maybe it might be Kyle, because we know for Kyle he put money out of his own pocket to make a score for that.
You're right.
Comic. So I think maybe this also, he's like, hey, let me do something for the Power Rangers. So it's cool. Actually, that trailer I sent to you, I thought it was cool. I won't be getting these books, but I will hear you guys talk about it in the upcoming weeks here. DC Comics, this is backer number 21, Hope Larson and Scott Kaleski. This is Dan Moore on that cover. Pretty good cover.
Yeah.
How's Batgirl been? We haven't spoken about it in a while on the podcast. Alex?
It's good. It's good. It's a good book. I remember the last arc was the Penguin arc, which was actually pretty good.
It was good.
This book is almost a lot less detective work than I would expect from Barbara, but it's almost got that Veronica Mars more upbeat storytelling. It's actually pretty good. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It's not like the Gail Simone run where I thought that was just an amazing story. This is good, though.
I would parallel it to what we were dealing with Kate Bishop Hawkeye. It's its own thing. It's fun. It's all selective to that universe. You can tell, yes, there's a bigger ensemble of characters that could be in her life, the entire Bat family and whatnot, but this is really just focused on her kind of group of people and, the villains she's interacting with, which are usually famous villains, but I think this is a true monthly comic where you can pop in and out and you have fun the entire time.
I want to put a disclosure. I would disagree with that.
Why? What do you mean?
Because when you say that it's comparable to the Hawkeye, maybe you're just saying that it's her own book and that she's in her own.
I'm not saying it's the same book. I'm saying it's comparable.
Yeah,
things are the same.
I would hear that going, man, I loved Hawkeye. Top 5 books. and then I would read Batgirl, and then I'd be pissed at us for saying, "Oh yeah, that was pretty good."
I think Garrett
no.
is saying that it's the same type of book, whereas you're taking it
Right.
as saying it's the same quality of book. I don't think that's what
Right.
he's saying.
Maybe that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's the same quality.
No, he's
Thinking
saying,
too hard out.
he's saying it's just like a fun book. Like it's not a comic that you're going to spend too much time thinking about, but it's a quick read, and it's like, oh, this is fun. That's it.
Oh.
I mean, which I think was for Hawkeye, but also I do think to kind of go against what Garrett said, I do think it was a little bit more than that. But it's still, I mean, I can see what you're saying. It's just like a quick little thing, and you're like, hey, cool, Batgirl still. It's like consistently good and fun. So, Batman Beyond number 18 says Dan Jurgens, Phil Hester, and Andy Parks. The Long Payback Part 5. Garrett, how's Batman Beyond been?
It's been so good. I love the series. I think that Dan Jurgens' storytelling, like he really gets this Batman Beyond universe. He's been writing it for almost 2 years now. Got our main man Phil Hester on art. Hasn't missed a beat whatsoever, and can't wait for him to make it to SuperCon, and maybe he'll be able to sign some of my books, I hope. But yeah, lots of fun. You get a lot of the rogues from the animated series. You got some that have been introduced in the comics. Like right now, he's fighting a former person of the Royal Flush Gang. There's a girl that he had a thing with that she comes back into play too, and Dana's there. His brother is Max. Like so many fun characters. I think if you really love the animated series, you should definitely be on this book.
Dark Knight's Metal number 6 is Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. All roads lead to darkness, and the devastating and epic conclusion to DC's cataclysmic event series. Heroes from across the universe make their final charge into the unknown to battle the forces of the dark multiverse. Space and time, dream and nightmares, all will collide, and what is left at the end will leave the DC universe irrevocably changed. Now, what I read here, by the way, $4.99. What I read here is a lot of words, and I don't know. Like, I actually do not know what's going on right now in this book. It's been so delayed. In a story like this, I feel like needs to be read together, kind of like Final Crisis was. I think that book you need to read together, and it's in a world where there's so much stuff going on, so many storylines, and so many little DC nuggets that I think you lose them all reading it issue by issue. However, I think there might be some good things in here. I think I've enjoyed pieces of this. And on this cover here, we have the Joker dragon back from Batman, that cover, back in Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo's run of that. So that guy's coming back. What do you guys think? Garrett, what do you think about Dark Knight's Battle?
So, like, issue 5 was such a miss for me that I'm not really excited for this. Like, I'm going to get it, obviously, because it leads into so much what's going to happen in the DCU coming up next. At least with Scott Snyder, taking over Justice League and whatnot. This ties heavily into what that story is going to spin off of. But I think, like, I keep comparing it, and I've talked to Alex about this, and I don't know if you've read him, but like Dark Knight Strikes Back, and like it's just so he's trying to do too much with not enough space. Like, I feel like I'm reading 100, the biggest epic I've ever read, but they're squeezing it down to 30 pages. So
I think that may be part of it also. In
yeah,
you know what it feels like also. If I'm gonna, and I did at the time, so I'm gonna do it right now with Marvel and Secret Wars. Secret Wars ended, and they had already started that new initiative in Marvel Comics. So I had known like certain characters were going to survive, or certain characters changed in a current sort of way. And these New Age of Hero books were supposed to start when this ended, and they've been going on for 3 issues now. And so it's kind of like the same thing. The punch of this impact is kind of gone, and I'm at a place now where I'm like, okay, well, I'll enjoy it for what it is, but what is it really? And what am I, like you said, is it really an epic story compressed into 30 pages when it's something that Scott and Greg, which I think they had big plans for, and I think maybe on the page there's more to it, but from what I read on that page, it's just a lot of explanation or exposition, and it's not really turns into something that I enjoy as much as I thought it would.
I found it to be more of there's a lot of talk being told, oh, this is going to be one of the best things you've read. And in all honesty, the 5 issues I've read have not been enjoyable, at least for me. That the few bits and pieces I've enjoyed from the main story, are so lackluster, they're actually starting to be rusty. This isn't even fun to read because it's so delayed that I've already forgot what the story is. Even the other one-shots and stuff really don't mean anything. And we're already into the next phase of DC. So again, none of the stuff that I'm reading is going to be a surprise.
By the way,
get the book? Yes.
It might be a surprise to you two, but I from what I gather, I believe we are actually on the minority opinion on this book. I think most people are enjoying it. So, I mean, but I think I don't know. It must just be, take it for what it is, but I think I expect more out of this book, especially on those two. And I just think it reached for more than it could grab, and now we're at the point now where what it's giving me is not what it was promised. And that's most of it.
Well, the description you just read of what this book is going to be, that sounds like that almost needs to be 60 pages of artwork and good storytelling and be able to wrap it up. I can almost guarantee, well, maybe not guarantee is not the right word. I'm guessing this book won't end very well. It's going to be just kind of a hodgepodge of, look, Batman pulled it off. And you're like, really? I love the Batman, and I don't even think Batman can fix this.
Detective Comics 977. Speaking of the Batman, James Tynion IV, Javi Fernandez, and Alberto Martinez on the cover. Batman Eternal Part 2. Alex, what do you think of Detective Comics?
I am totally on the Detective Comics bandwagon. I mean, I never dropped it, but this book was kind of dipping for me, and it has really shown me that Tynion can write a good book again. With the downfall of Clayface and Batwoman's, was she part of the Colony, right? That's the name of the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I love this book. This book is really great. It's fun to see the different dynamics of her way of doing a team and Bruce's way of doing the team. And then just seeing how Tim is struggling. And it's not even Tim struggling, it's Bruce struggling with Tim coming back and doing things his way. And it's just, it's a good showing of how these characters live in this world together, and they're trying to be a team, but they're struggling.
Yeah, they're so fractured right now that I think it's just like there's one last thing that could happen, and this thing's all going to explode, which, we know that Tynion's run is almost done and things like that. So I think the storyline is definitely going to reach ahead here really soon, and things are not going to be the same as they were in the beginning.
Doomsday Clock number 4. This is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. The series you thought you never see'd reach its 4th issue with a shocking revelation about the aftermath of Ozymandias' actions and how they reach into the darkest corners of the DC universe. You know what I'm going to say, because this book has been as delayed, maybe even more so than Metal. I think actually, for me at least, I think this book is doing better at this point than Metal was, just because it's trying to do less. And it is kind of a book that takes its time, so there's not really a lot going on. It's just the small things that it has going on, it's doing well. And so far at least, I think I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I really love it, and I know it's been delayed, but I remember everything that happened in issue 3, and I think that, going into this issue, I don't care if it's longer. If I get that Jeff Johns writing and Gary Frank art, and it's not rushed and it looks great, this is kind of like an image book for me that gets pushed back or delayed or goes on a break. I think it's totally worth it. With this magnitude of a story, I'd rather have this than get rushed with, Secret Wars or Civil War 2, where you have 12 artists on one book just trying to get this story out. So
yeah, I think it's succeeding in because there's more of a focus. Metal seems like there's a lot of noise going on right now with that book, and it tries to do so much. But at least I believe Jeff Johns and Gary Frank right now have smaller vision for this. I mean, maybe when we get to the end, it'll be a bigger book, but at least for right now, I think it's really trying. What it's trying to do is not much, but with more character stuff, and I think that works more because I know who most of these people are, and I'm getting to know the other people. And so when I reach back and we get another issue, it's not hard to be like, oh, who is this guy again? But it is hard to be like, what's going on again? So I think that's the reason why this is better, at least right now. Flash number 43. This is Joshua Williamson and Carmine Di Giacominto. This is Perfect Storm Part 5. With the Flash family hot on its heels, Barry takes the fight to Grodd, and if he's going to survive, he needs to steal his powers back and stop Grodd by any means necessary. Alex, how's the Flash going?
Flash has been really good. This is kind of a Detective Comics for me again. I felt it was dipping in quality, and since we've gotten to this Perfect Storm arc, it's been great. So I don't know what to expect. I have to tell you what, Grodd has really impressed me as a villain. He's a well thought out character, very methodical, pretty diabolical. And it's just fun to see Barry's reaction to it. And Barry, I think it was last issue, we're working so hard to get his powers back, and then he gets it, and that's exactly what Grodd wanted. So it's good to see that it's not one of those regular rogues. It's actually a strong bad guy. At least for me, feels like a very strong villain.
Yeah, I think it's been good too. I mean, you can tell, like, storytelling wise, like, Josh Williamson's making Barry seem like such an asshole right now. Like, he's so full of himself. Like, when he's basically he says Wally can be the Flash. And then the whole time, like, Barry's trying to get his feet for us by saying, like, Wally, you can't handle this. Like, I know I'm the only one that can do this. And Wally's like, dude, like, when you were gone, I was the Flash for, like, 10, 20 years, like, for a while. Maybe not in the comic timeline, but Wally just kind of feels betrayed right now. And obviously that kind of comes back to stab Barry in the back at the cliffhanger of last issue. So I think it's fun mixing up the personalities with this. So very excited. I know this is all leading to the Flash War coming up soon. I'm getting excited.
Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps number 481. This is Robert Venditti, Rafael Sandoval, Zod's Will finale. This is the finale of the Zod storyline. Hey, Gear, by the way, speaking of Zod, how's that Krypton show? How was it?
Well, he's not in it, but the family is. I don't do. You want me to tell you spoilers?
No, I said how is it? I don't want to know.
It's good.
Okay.
It's actually really great. I went into it thinking it was going to be absolute dog shit, and I finished the episode. I'm like, I'm definitely going to watch episode 2. So I'm very impressed with that.
And Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. What do you think? How's this going to end?
I do like that you're getting full force, like, Green Lantern Corps, like, going after Zod. I feel like it might be an issue too long, because I'm just like, there's a lot of, like, pointless fighting, and, like, we know all of Zod and his family's wheelhouse powers, and same thing with Hal and Kyle and all of them. So I'm just kind of like, yes, it's cool to see them fighting, but, like, eventually I've seen these things so many times that it's like, what's the next part of the story? So, I don't know. Like I've told you guys before, I kind of get annoyed when Zod is used as a villain too much, and lately he has been. So, but other than that, I'm really enjoying the story.
Mother Panic, Gotham AD, number 1. This is Jody Hauser and Abraham Mustafi. After the fallout of Milk Wars, Violet Page finds herself in Gotham City, unlike any we've seen before. 10 years into the future, in a world without a Batman, Gotham City has been taken over by the Collective, with Gala acting as head of Chris City State, in a high-tech town with zero tolerance towards Cape Crusaders and masked vigilantes, except for those designed by Gala and her associates of aristocratic artisans. What's a woman who has vowed vengeance to do? And what happened to her mother, Rebecca Page? Perhaps the Joker, now a sad clown who makes his balloon toy shape like Tommy gun and machetes on the abandoned Gotham docks, has the answer. Find out for yourself as Mother Panic returns to a different Bat time, different Bat channel. You know what? I saw this, I believe, on both your lists to pick up this week. Am I correct with that?
It's on mine for sure.
Nope, not on mine.
Not on yours. I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity to just like wait on this, do a trade thing. But that description right there is like enough for me to be like, I think I'm going to try this out. Because it sounds, I do like, I mean, these, especially this book, Mother Panic, can do stuff with this in this established universe that is not like what we've seen before. And I think we've learned in the prior Mother Panic series that it actually, Jody Hauser is a great writer, and I did enjoy it a lot. So, Garrett, do you think, would you believe that somebody who's never picked up Mother Panic, their first one, can just pick this up?
I think totally. I think you'd be totally fine just picking this up, not reading the first part. especially that it's going to be an apocalyptic story. I'm sure they'll catch you up on like a little bit on like who she is as a character, but I don't think all you need to know is she's like Jessica Jones. Like she's had some kind of former abuse in her life, and that pushed her to be what she is today, which is basically any vigilante. But the concept of this story is so cool. I think Jody Houser is such a great writer. I don't know about the artists, so that's the part that's kind of I'm hesitating about because I don't know what the inside art looks like. But I am excited for Mother Panic to be back because the last issue that ended, it was just kind of like, I don't know, it didn't really end. It was just kind of like, well, I guess Milk Wars is coming out soon, so. Very excited for this.
I would say you could check it out. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want a Batman book but that's not really Batman, I think Mother Panic's your book. By the way, I just want to mention real quick, none of us really caught up with it, but it is something I'm going to pick up or read on Hoopla when it's collected as Mystic U. I've been hearing it's great. So if that final issue comes out tomorrow, so pick that up if you've been reading that. Teen Titans number 18 has been Percy and Allison Voorhees. The following part 2, Dan Moron covers again. The following part 2, when Robin's murderer investigation casts suspicion on Beast Boy's new employer, Neverland, Beast Boy finds himself the odd man out on the Teen Titans. Caught between his best friends and his new purpose in life, Beast Boy sets out to prove that Neverland is completely above board, but what he finds, he will lead Beast Boy down a dangerous path. So the Teen Titans recently got announced they're relaunching it, right, with a new team, Damon going to be the leader, but this is going to be ending with Ben Percy. Garrett, how's it been?
So I think Teen Titans has been great up until this arc. Like, I know some people love Beast Boy, and I think he's a good character and whatnot, but like Beast Boy starting to like meet up with these like random characters I know nothing about. I'm just like, oh great, here we go. It's just another story about someone drifting apart from his group, hangs out with another group. Those two groups are going to clash, and then Beast Boy's going to be like, oh, I should never have left you guys. And then it's just kind of predictable, interesting to me. Like, art's good, story, I mean, you could do some character moments, but I'm not excited with this arc.
Are you excited to hear that's going to be rebooting, basically, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I love Ben Percy. I think he's a great writer, but I think this is kind of like, pre-New 52 being bumped up into the New 52. There's like, what can we do to really keep your interest for another couple months when it's just going to get better anyways?
Adam Glass taking over Teen Titans, starting with that. I believe it's going to start in June. Adam Glass, last thing I think I remember him writing was he did some of the New 52 Suicide Squad. It's the last thing I remember him writing. But Terrifics number 2. This is Jeff Lemire and Ivan Rice with Joe Prado helping out. Meet the Terrifics Part 2. Tom Strong has disappeared, and the Terrifics have found their emergency beacon. But to save anyone, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Phantom Girl, and Plastic Man must first save themselves from the dark multiverse that are trapped within, not to mention that gigantic alien monster they've been standing on this whole time. I believe, I'll speak for everybody here, that you just wanted more of that last book, and I believe we'll get it here. So I did enjoy the last one. I just wanted more of it. So I'm really looking forward to this. What do you think, Alex?
I am also looking forward to it. I agree with you, though. The way that issue 1 ended just seemed to be abrupt, where I'm hoping this does fill in a few little plot holes that I wanted from the first issue and then carries on nicely through this. So I'm hoping by the end of this one, I am solid. Like, yes, I love this book and can't wait for issue 3.
You know what? I think, because I just read Sideways 2, I didn't read Damage 2, but I feel like the first issue, for some reason, is shorter, because when I read Sideways, it felt like it was more pages, issue 2. So I wonder if issue 2s will have more pages. I'm totally speculating, but if Terrifics does as well, that'll be nice to kind of give you a little more backbone, more meat on the...
Do you think that there's actually more pages, or do you think it just feels that way because there's some exposition to set up what's going on because Metal hasn't ended yet, so we don't really know. They have to kind of set up being like, okay, here's what happened for these characters, and then here's the book.
No, I don't necessarily think that, because Sideways 2 was like, it literally just was like, okay, first issue is like, we're going to the story. Second issue, it's like you're in it and you don't leave until there's a cliffhanger. And I think that took longer than some comics that some other comics I've read.
Well, I mean, in Sideways 1, there's a section where he talks about he was in the city when
Right.
that was happening, and I'm not sure if that part needs to be included if they establish that in metal. And then in Terrifics at the beginning, they established like, oh, the Dark Multiverse, we closed it up and all this stuff, and I'm pretty sure like that's gonna happen in Metal 6. So like either A, it's just them reiterating what's already happened, or it was added to be like, hey, here's what actually happened since it got delayed and this is coming out first.
Right.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's speculation.
We'll see. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And I'm excited to see what happens in this part too, because they're like bare bones in that first issue.
IDW Publishing. This is TMNT ongoing number 80. Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, and Bram Revel. Invasion of the Triceratons, part 5 of 5. Alex, I was about to say, because it says 5 of 5, but I was going to say, I think we've been talking about this book for a long time, or the storyline. Is it still going strong, or are you happy it's ending?
Oh, I think last time I talked about it with you, I do love this. The turtles are in the book, so Garrett's happy.
Yeah.
Triceratons are a big deal in the turtle universe, so it's nice to see them finally get introduced. Obviously, they used to be Triceratons from prehistoric times. Got taken by the Krang. Krang turned them into aliens, or now they are alien bipedal Triceratons who can speak. Now they came down to Earth, coming in peace. Some dickbag named Bishop attacked them. Now they're beating the shit out of the people. So, long story short, it's been good. It's been actually really, really good. This is probably I haven't read a lot of Turtles, but what I have read, this is a pretty solid story.
Since my brother had jumped on the book around issue 30s, 40s, this has been my favorite arc of the entire run. I think it just because they're like you're like you said, you get the turtles in the book, you're getting some character development out of these, eventually, especially being like pitted against their father. There's just so much going on that's like what I'm looking for in the Turtles book that I'm just like, yes, I think we're finally here. Let's just stay in it and like keep going with what you're doing now, as opposed to doing TMNT Universe and the TMNT book.
To be fair, Garrett, when you finally get to read a Shredder book, you'll probably love it. Shredder really does that much better.
Well, I know. I mean, I read that last arc before he got killed. But you're right. Like when he's in his prime, that'd be one thing.
Yeah.
First, Alex, I don't need you using that fancy language bipedal. We're regular folk in this podcast.
Sorry, two-legged. They walk on two legs, everybody.
And second, Garrett forgot about Goosebumps Download or Die #1. This is Jen Vaughn and Michelle Wong. An all-age friendly Spooks and Creeps returns in this, our second arc of the best-selling series originally created by R.L. Stine. When Mitra and her two besties find a phone with the latest and greatest technology and apps, they think they're dreaming, but when they push, notifications come to shove. They might be living a nightmare. So your Goosebumps second arc, like you said, each arc is a new writer, right?
Exactly. New creative team and like new story. So they're only 3 issues. They're only 3 issues apiece, and I'll definitely be getting it. I mean, this is nostalgia for me, and like seeing Slappy, and you'll see like the haunted mask and the shrunken head, and you'll see the mummy, and thing about Goosebumps I love. So I'm definitely all in.
Yeah. So check that out if you want to get the Goosebumps book. Image Comics. Anybody get beef last month?
No.
Okay. No beef. Okay. Black Magic #11. This is Greg Rucka and Nicola Scott. Awakenings Awakenings 2, Part 6. Conclusion. Strands come together. The hands of glory have been lit, and Alex makes a deal with the witch hunters, and the face of Rowan's enemy is revealed with damning consequences. I believe we all really enjoyed the last issue, if I remember correctly. It was really creepy, and I look forward to this book. What do you think, Alex? Black Magic?
I am always excited for this book to come out. So we always talk about a slower burn book, but it's good, good detective. Even in all honesty, a good horror book to an extent. And there's a character specifically, that little girl is scarier than shit. I'm always excited for this book to come out. Cannot wait to read it.
Cyberforce #1. This is new #1 coming out tomorrow from Brian Hill, Matt Hawkins, and Attila Rojo. The classic series returns in a reimagining overseen by Mark Silvestri, which is one of the first books he did for Image when he brought it over. So if you're interested in new #1, Cyberforce #1 comes out tomorrow. Days of Hate number 3 of 12 is Alice Cott, and once again, I'm sorry, Dajel Zizili, or Take Me Home, Country Roads. Let me say one thing, and I think I'm going to, once again on this podcast, speak for everybody. This thing's on track. It's not delayed. It's coming out. And I think that's the most exciting thing about this book. Did anybody catch up with issue 2?
I caught up on it, but I don't remember what I read.
It was just some more explaining like the relationship between the main girl and her ex, and like establishing that world some more. I didn't think issue 2 was as like monumental as issue 1 was. It was a lot more building. Yeah,
I believe I still liked it, and the art's great.
I didn't say it was bad. I think it's still in that mystery phase where there's throwing out so many questions for you that you're like, what's going on? And then it's not going to make sense till a later issue.
Definitely a book, though, that I think is going to be better just in trade. Like, already 2 issues in, I'm guessing even 3 issues in, I'm still going to be like, okay, things are maybe coming together, but I'm still in the dark.
If this makes sense to anybody listening, I would say that it's almost like David Finch movie, where it's very slow and methodical, but it's that way for a reason, and then eventually it hits a boiling point where everything escalates, and I think we'll get that eventually. But like Alex said, it's better when it's in one piece than one issue at a time. But I've been enjoying it so far. Like I said, it's one of those books, though, that you really have to temper what you're going to get from an issue and be like, okay, this is going to be like a little bit of it, rather than there's some series you get where it's like this full issue is going to be like a complete story, and I'll enjoy this one issue. So, Saga number 50 turns 50. Saga, Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. $2.99 still, even though it's the 50th issue, and I believe it'll be oversized because it's 50. That's the way you do it. Walking Dead. To help their friends, Hazel and her parents risk everything to visit a dangerous new world, celebrating 50 consecutive issues by the same award-winning creative team. Plus, the winners of the latest Saga costume contest are revealed in the to-be-continued letter pages. That cover is great. And I really enjoy this book. Alex, I think I can say both of us excited.
Well, I was say I can almost speak for both of us that this is already going to be my pick of the week, at least preemptive pick of the week. I'm so excited for this book to come out and just to read every little bit of it.
And if I know anything about Saga, that cover there where the family's having a good time with their daughter, Marco, everybody's having fun, means that this book is going to end depressing, and I will hate Brian K. Vaughan and be like, okay, what's next, though? So
this is going to be a book I can't read before next week's book.
Don't read those back to back.
Book club.
Save yourself the tears.
Probably.
Save yourself the tears and tissues. Marvel Comics, here we go. The Land of Rebirth and Events. Jeez. What are we on here? I don't even know.
Damnation Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider #1.
Oh, you getting that? Damnation Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider.
Hell yeah, I'm getting that.
This is Johnny with the writer Christopher Stabella. Phil Noto on art. Phil Noto on art? Where you been, Phil? Here he comes. That cover's amazing by Clayton Crane. Damnation Ty and Johnny Blaze takes the fight to a different devil than he usually faces, Mephisto. But Mephisto will show Johnny his own brand of suffering and give Johnny plenty of reason for vengeance. Can I just say something about Marvel Solicits? Can you stop at the bullet points? Those aren't 2 bullet points. Those are 2 paragraphs. Can you just make 2 paragraphs? I don't understand. Anyways, what are you looking forward to this book, Garrett?
Yes. I've been telling you guys, like, for a while, since, like, even Spirits of Vengeance came out, I'm like, give me a Ghost Rider book, and Garrett will come. And that's what's happening right now. I don't care that it's tied into Damnation. Shut up, Alex. Gosh, get your head out of the gutter.
To be fair, you want Johnny Blaze, not just any Ghost Rider.
Right, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, yeah.
Okay.
I have read some comics of Johnny Blaze in the past. I really don't associate like Robbie Reyes. Like, I don't know, I didn't really connect with him as a character. But Johnny Blaze, like, vintage original Ghost Rider feeling for me, and I'm super pumped to dive into this book.
So is this actually #1, or is it just a one-shot?
It says #1 Legacy, so I don't know. I knew there were going to be a Ghost Rider book, so I I don't like how it's labeled. It might be just a mini.
Because if it's legitimate, even if it's if it's only a one shot, then I won't get it. If it was even 3 issues long, I would.
I can look at for future solicits and see.
Daredevil number 600. Here we go. The big milestone. Charles Soule, Crystal Gage, Ron Garney, and Mike Perkins. The last issue of Ron Garney. Oversized anniversary issue. So that means they got to make it $5.99. That's the way it works.
Of course.
Mayor Fisk conclusion. Daredevil can see the new mayor's machinations coming together, but is he in time to stop them? Guest starring both these heroes of villains in New York City streets. Their oversized anniversary issue has the surprise ending that will shake up the city to its very core, plus a look at Foggy and Matt's relationship over the years. That must be what Crystal Gage is writing.
So this for me is going to be my cutting issue. I will get this book. If I like this issue and the cliffhanger is great and I really feel like a good change is coming, yes, we'll continue to get it. If after I spend $6 and I'm like, wow, I just wasted $6 on this book, I will be dropping this book.
If you can see from the background, I believe this might be the conclusion to Defenders we were looking for, because all the Defenders are in this book. And Kingpin, the conclusion to Kingpin we're looking for. So it might wrap up some storylines that have been sitting out there because their books were ended. So I'm maybe looking forward to that part. I'm not sure. I am looking forward to Ron Garney art, but also kind of sad this is his last issue. I don't know. Have they announced who the new artist is, or just whoever they found to fill in?
Right, and I'm the same way. Like, it's my chopping block issue. If it doesn't blow my socks off, then I will not be getting 601.
Mitzvah Iron Man number 598, The Search for Tony Stark Part 6. This is Brian Michael Bendis, Stefano Caselli, and Alex Maleev. This is one of the last issues leading up to the explosive, blistering, quadruple-sized, incredible Iron Man number 600 with cliffhanger you do not want to miss. Oh, quadruple-sized? That thing's going to be $20, Garrett.
That's going to be a book.
What do you think of a Mitzvah Iron Man? How's it wrapping up?
It's really taken off. Like, I'm really enjoying it, and I think, Bendis knows, like, when he's writing this that he's leaving, and he's really amping it up to be a really great storyline. And I love that I'm basically getting, it's like 2 comics in one, not like the 2-in-1 comic, but I get the infamous Iron Man one we had with Doctor Doom, and I get the Invincible Iron Man story with Riri and whatnot, and it's all meshed into one book. And I don't know, there's something about it that makes it fun. It makes it like one of those quarterly comics we always talk about on the show, like if they ever went back to that kind of format. And I know that's not what it is, but it's just a fun idea for me. And I think without having Tony Stark in this book, which obviously he's coming back, it's a fun way to tell stories about Iron Man and his whole universe.
Jessica Jones number 18. This is Brian Michael Bendis, Michael Gaydos, David Mack on the cover. As the creators of Jessica Jones leave her to an all new team. What? An all new team next issue. They bid her farewell with one last very special story, an truly incredible tale that no one ever gets to see. But here for the unforgettable issue that ties threads together from all of the amazing Marvel universe. Have they announced who's taking over this book?
I haven't seen. I don't think it's going to happen until obviously after the fresh new All-Star.
We have this issue, and then it's like kind of like a break until that happens. And I bet you think they relaunch it. So, what do you think of the last issue of Brian Michael Bendis on Jessica Jones, a character he created, a character he's written for at least a good 18 years, 17 years, 18 years. It ends this week.
It's very bittersweet for me. Like, lately, so many things have been ending, and new storylines are taking off, a lot of creative changes. And this is another one that I think is going to gut punch me emotionally, because I think that this has been such a great series. I think I bought the Alias Complete series at just the right time, because this whole Jessica Jones series has been a direct sequel to that story. I think, without this whole creative team working on this book, it's not going to be the same. There's things that I've read in recent issues that I noticed way back in the beginnings of the Alias run. And, it's going to be sad to see it go. I think they're going to have a really powerful issue. And man, I'm just sick of getting all these feels from these comics lately. I mean, it's like, oof, kind of give me an emotional break or something. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great issue, and makes me excited for the next time that Gatos, Mac, and Bendis work on that, whatever their Image book they're going to do together, or not their Image, the DC imprint book they're going to work on together. So
yeah, I think anybody that follows up with this is going to have a hard time trying to replicate or at least do something as good as they've been doing.
Right.
So it's a good team, good book ending tomorrow, and hopefully the character lands in a good place. Legion, number 3. This is Peter Milligan and Wilfredo Torres. Trauma Part 3. Garrett, you've been reading Legion. You surprised me. I didn't know that until I saw you on Catching Up with Garrett on YouTube. Said you've been catching up with Legion. The show comes back this week, I believe. How's it been?
So good. I mean, like I was saying, if you watch the show, this is basically kind of the same kind of mind-tripping stuff you're going to get. You get David, who's trying to get help because there's a new guy that's like, it's not Mojo or whatever the other guy was, but this is somebody that's one of his personas that is basically trying to wipe out David's other personas and be the only persona there is. So, I don't know. I think it's so crazy, but you can still follow the story and the art's good. And I we're 3 parts out of 5, and I think this is just fun. I wish it was an ongoing series, and it's so creative how this team is writing this book. And it's hard to say what's actually happening without like spoiling things, and like, because there's not really a direct A to B plot. It's like kind of all over the place, but in a way, it's to me. So very much excited for part 3.
Moon Knight 193. This is Max Bendis and Jason Burrows. This is Crazy Runs in the Family Part 6. Alex, what do you think? First off, that cover. I know you've been enjoying these Moon Knight covers. Does that cover still live up to the last cover? And how you been enjoying Moon Knight?
Love this cover. Even if this book has this cover has nothing to do with the book. This cover is amazing. I imagine almost like Predator taking out the commandos. Just so excited, and just I actually last week picked up what's it called? Lucid Dreaming by Max Bemis. So I just jumped on it because I saw his name. So I'm so willing and ready to accept this book. It's been hilarious. It's had great fight sequences. Love the story. So I am fully into this book.
It's been good so far. Moon Knight. Old Man Logan number 37. This is Ed Brisson and Dabalor Talalik. Moving Target Part 2. Logan hunts down Kingpin's biographer, hoping to get the dirt on the big man. Hey, is that the same girl from Kingpin?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Bullseye coming for Logan. That's a fight. It's a fight that'll forever change them. Somebody's going to die, but who? Garrett, what do you think? Who's going to die? I mean, don't tell me that, but how's the book going?
Yeah, right. I don't know. This storyline, I think Alex made a good point. He said it to me at the shop. It's just, it could be more. It could be better than what it is right now, like story-wise. Like, we got a great first arc by Ed Brisson, and then it's just kind of slowly but surely like been a roller coaster of good stuff, bad stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of getting some Old Man Logan fatigue, especially when like next month we're going to get all this Wolverine stuff, like preparing for his return. And I'm just like, is there really room in the Marvel Universe for 2 Logans? So,
No.
Art-wise, is it still Deodato Jr.?
No.
It's not. Yeah, and that kind of worries me too. I'll look at the preview, but I think that story-wise, it should be decent. Art-wise, looking right now, it seems to be a little, oh, Jesus, it's very cartoony. Yeah, yikes. But it's got the Kingpin involved, and I don't know, it should be good, I guess.
Do you think
See.
maybe...
I think...
Go ahead.
I think my problem with this book is that he had to get tied into this Kingpin storyline.
Well, with Bullseye, I know, and that's like, I hate that when a writer doesn't have any creative juice left. They're just like, who can we just randomly drop in this book and make a story out of it instead of like having a plan? Like just telling Old Man Logan stories until you have nothing left to tell.
Do you think
I was
maybe
excited to see Bullseye in it. Like, that idea is nice. Having one of the most amazing assassins want to fight Wolverine, that's great. But there's no stakes in it. Even when you say in the solicitation, someone's going to die. Yeah, probably some random stranger that one of them kills.
how do you, and that's what I was going to say, do you think that Old Man Logan will die because Wolverine's coming back? And then
I feel like for some stupid reason they're going to keep both.
I mean, the thing with that is, that at least I'm thinking to be like, what story can you tell for that? Like, Wolverine's going to be coming back, that other Wolverine. I mean, they have so different stories that, and they kind of, like you said, Old Man Logan kind of replaced, regular Logan. And, like, even though Logan was dead, we really had a Wolverine. Like, I mean, there wasn't really much difference. I don't know what do you do? Their origins are different, but like their personality, everything's the same. So what do you do?
I think it's just one of those things. This book is, like Garrett said, it's just spinning its wheels right now. I'm almost tempted to finish out this arc. I'm assuming it's only a 2-issue arc anyway. Be done with it and just wait.
Well, I don't know about that because this might be our only Wolverine fix. Because yes, there's a lot of like Hunt for Wolverine, but they haven't even announced that for May yet, and it's a month away. Like,
I thought McNiven was doing the cover for a book, and it was
they're doing a book called The Hunt for Wolverine, but it's not an actual. It's the Hunt, and there's going to be a lot of spin-off little mini series.
Somebody actually wrote up something online to get the whole story because they're trying to break it up between books. You have to get 20 issues, so you're going to do that.
No,
because there's like 5 different miniseries with 4 issues each. You got to get like 20 different issues. So
I'm getting the Hunt for Wolverine, and I'm going to get the Tom Taylor series. That's it.
Animosity number 13. This is from Aftershock Comics. Margaret Bennett, Rafael de la Torre. You guys still getting this book, Animosity?
I do.
How's it going?
It's been really good. I forgot to put it on my list, but I think I still love the characters enough, like at least Jesse and Sandor, that until one of those two die, I'll be on this book because I think they have such a great relationship and things are really starting to take off. And I think Animosity is better as a series that kind of like follows characters as opposed to getting too big like the Evolution series and the Rise series. It's all about like factions forming, and it's very over the top, where I think you just need something like Point of View, which would be the Animosity book, just the single book.
Well, the other 2 books, it's almost like they didn't give Animosity enough credit to build a world. So they forced the hand by making... Really, the only book that anybody should really care about is the main book. It is actually pretty decent, and it's Jesse, right? Jesse and Sandor?
You have Jesse and Sandor.
Are great characters. I just wish that it was more of them, because they keep teaming up with other people or other animals. It's like, that's not what I just wanted to see a girl and her dog travel the world, or not the world, but the United States, trying to find other people. I wanted almost more of a Realm or a Last of Us book that I just want to focus on these 2 characters and who they get introduced to. They don't need to collect people for their party. I just want to watch them suffer through some stuff and then realize we're the best team. So,
those are the books coming out for March 28th, 2018, the last Wednesday in March. Nice crop of books. Garrett, what do you think? Which one are you looking forward to the most this week?
Definitely Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 25, the beginning of the Shattered Grid arc.
Alex, what do you think?
I'm sorry, Marvin. I got to take this one. Saga number 50.
It's all right. I'm going to go Doomsday Clock number 4 from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. A lot of good books coming out this week. I think has a good chance. I mean, last week was a hard week to beat. If you listen to the show at all, you know me and Garrett were gloating over last week. But I think there's a good crop this week. We might have a good chance. But you know what? If I'm going to go outside, I need to know how this weather is. Alex, what do you think?
You're going to have some nice weather this week. Get your sun rays while you can. It sounds like Easter. Obviously, I am a professional meteorologist 12 years later telling you about the weather. Could get kind of crappy, so be careful when you're out driving. Could get icy. You never know. This is at least where I live at South Dakota, so it could snow in July. So just be careful. Wear a sweatshirt. It gets a little brisk in the morning when I'm waiting for my comic books. Just get a cup of coffee. That's what I do. That's how I know when it's going to rain. Oh, all right, looking good. Looking to the sky.
Alex, for me to go outside, I need at least a minimum of 90 degrees. Is that happening tomorrow?
It will not happen tomorrow.
All right, well,
Marvin, keep being inside.
Garrett, if I were to step outside on a hypothetical, how are them roads?
Roads should be good. I don't know what the weatherman's smoking, but I think it's going to be decently nice tomorrow.
I think you said that. What do you mean?
I told you it'd be nice tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were saying. Well, you were saying to get your
later this week.
He said on Easter,
like Easter, which is Sunday.
Right. I get that. That's not how he said it.
Yeah, it is.
You said it so ass backwards.
No, he did. He said tomorrow's going to be nice.
But I think that it's going to be, there's a lot of good books tomorrow, but there's a lot of other books that are like holding it up. So I feel like there's going to be, you definitely want to get to the shop early to get your like high quality books. And then there's, while you're there, you can pick up the books that won't be as popular.
Yeah, I think that's how everybody would do it. They wouldn't go back for a second run. So might as well get them all while you're there. Those are the comics for this week. Glad to have Alex back in the saddle. Me and Garrett last week. We had a little contest. Yeah, Alex, I don't know if you heard about it. Me and you did a show by ourselves the week prior. Garrett was in Vegas meeting with Mephisto, and our show was 33 minutes, I believe, or 32, one of the two. And me and Garrett put it together, and we had a 35-minute show, a little bit longer. We were trying to beat it, but you know what? Talk a little bit more, but me and you are just more efficient about it. But we're now together. You add those two together, we're about an hour right now, and so that's how it works with good old A, good old G, and good old Marvin. For next time, I've been Marvin.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Garrett.
Hey, everyone. Keep reading those books.